Bienvenidos y buenas tardes. My name is Dr. Ramon Ortiz, and it's a pleasure to serve as the moderator for the Latino Chamber of Commerce's annual membership meeting. The annual membership meeting is an opportunity for the entire membership body to come together, reflect on the past year's accomplishment, and also set the tone for the future. This year's theme is Reemerging Stronger, a fitting slogan for a community that is resilient and that is determined to reemerge from this COVID disruption, to soar to new heights like a phoenix in Greek mythology. With that said, it is an honor to introduce our next speaker, the chair of the Latino Chamber of Commerce of Dane County, Sarita Manigal.
Thank you, Dr. Ramon Ortiz, for such a great introduction. Today, I want to thank you for your commitment, for your dedication to continue partnering and sponsoring the Latino Chamber of Commerce of Dane County. Today, as the chair of the board of directors for the Latino Chamber of Commerce, I am so grateful to be surrounded by a talented board of directors, and I want to take a moment to really share with you their names. I'm going to look, so I don't want to forget any of them right now. So as you saw before, Dr. Ramon Ortiz is our vice chair. Raj is our treasurer. Limar Welch is our secretary. We have Marcio Sierra as one of the board of directors. Ray Feliz, Eugenia Podestad, Yara Rios, Patricia Woodridge, Anthony Gray, Marian Maldonado, Brandy de la Rosa, Juan Garcia, and Daniel Rodriguez. As you probably well know, our staff here is Jorge Antesana, also known as El Profe, Xochitl Garcia, who is our Director of Internal Operations and Membership. We have Jessica Cavazos as our President and CEO. We have Lorena Cortez, which is our new person who came in to really help us to continue with the greatest service to the community and the overwhelmed requests during COVID-19. I want also to let you know, since it's been a great honor for me to be serving here in 2020, even that I didn't know that COVID-19 will be a year that will bring a lot of challenges. I'm grateful and honored to say that our team here has just impressed all of us and continue succeeding to the point that the services have grown. In 2019, we're trying to outgrow geographically and try to serve and continue that great commitment and try to do that economic opportunities for our undeserved population. And right now, I'm so glad to let you all know that in 2020, we actually voted officially by the board, the Latino Chamber of Dane County. Now we actually voted to a new name, and I want to let you all know that now the new name will be the Latino Chamber of Commerce. That means that not only we're going to continue representing the region, but we're actually growing that much that we're going to serve the entire state of Wisconsin. I am going to actually introduce you one of our directors, the board of directors. His name is Marcio Sierra, and he's going to actually continue the agenda. Thank you.
Hello, and it is a pleasure to be here. And I actually have the opportunity to give thanks to our sponsors. And you're going to hear all the wonderful things that we have been doing as the Latino Chamber of Commerce, but we couldn't do it without the help of many of our sponsors. There's a saying that says that if you want to go fast, you can go alone. But if you want to go far, you need to go together. And we are going far thanks to many of the sponsors. And I'm going to mention some of them. And we have SCORE. We have the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, the Wisconsin Department of Revenue, U.S. Census, UMOS, the Goodman Center, Unidos, Centro Hispano, the Literacy Network, Lighthouse Christian Church and School, La Movida, Capital Times, and some of our media partners, which are Madison City Hughes, Channel 3000, Latino Life Magazine, Madison 365, and Wisconsin Public Radio. So again, we want to give thanks to all the sponsors. We couldn't do this without your help. And now, let me introduce to you our CEO and the wonderful Jessica. So welcome, Jessica Cavazos.
Greetings, everyone. It's such a great day to be here, especially knowing that we have our members, our stakeholders, very important people out there, small businesses and large businesses alike. And so this is a great day. Last year, we held our annual membership meeting in about March. And unfortunately, it seemed like something happened then at that time where in 2019, I think we had a outage of some sort in the city. And the year before, we had a tornado drill of some sort. So this year we have COVID. And what do? We resiliently move on, and we resiliently continue to operate as a chamber that really cares about its members and a chamber that really wants to make a difference and an impact. So I'm here as the CEO and president of the Latino Chamber of Commerce of Wisconsin. And I'm very happy that our board made that decision to mobilize our model throughout the state because, of course, we know that the state is growing vastly in its population. You know, we have such a huge dynamic growth of Latinos in urban areas like we have them in rural areas. So as a chamber, we're here to let you know that our impact is going to really reach far from the northern region to the west, to the east, to the south. And as you all know, our mission is to maximize economic and job creation through advocacy and programs that generate success. Our vision is to enhance and increase the Latino business competitiveness and be recognized as a leader in small business. And I think we've done pretty well. At this point, I want to thank our staff. Really, our staff has been dynamic, and not just from 2019, where we experienced a large growth in membership and where we changed our model, really influencing the way that the state selects and invest in community projects that are making a difference. I'm so proud of our staff because they have met the demands of our small businesses that now are 1 in 7 in growth. So that meaning that 1 out of every small business is forming, 1 is Latino. So what do we do and why do we exist? A lot of individuals have asked me that. Why is there a Latino chamber? And I'll tell you that as a Latino chamber leader and as a person who works day in and day out, seeing our small businesses come in with problems or non-understanding about the process of how to enable sustainability. I wrote this yesterday, and I'll tell you that as Latinos, we are a significantly impacting community of growth, and we are a community that's here to stay. We're a community that has not only grown in 10 years from 50 million to now 60.8 million, We're also a community that really needs to be invested in because there are still barriers. Having limited collateral of value or capital, having poor or limited financial history, having limited business proficiency, having a fear of government or establishments, and encountering a limited acceptance to our ITIN holders. That's why the Latino Chamber is here. We're here because not only do we want to impact our small businesses through change and challenge, but we would love to challenge our small businesses to become ethical partners and develop models that are going to transcend the time. And how are we going to do this? Our focus for 2021 is to continue helping our small business past COVID. We do believe that the economic growth of businesses are really pertinent to communities that are struggling. Economic growth is the most powerful tool to reduce poverty. However, many low-income communities are still confronted by major obstacles and lack of resources. So as the Latino Chamber of Commerce of Wisconsin, we would like to mitigate that. We would like to be partners with our state agencies to advocate for these communities. How do we plan to do this? Of course, we plan to do this by having a COVID-19 support and recovery team, start a business advocacy team around the state to let us know what are the impacts and how we can mitigate that and how we can help. Focus on the digital marketing and developing resources to some of the businesses who cannot figure out how to do a formal shopping cart or market their businesses and who need that opportunity. We would also like to focus on starting a revolving loan fund, which is called Prospera. And this will help our businesses access funding through our partners like Cuna Mutual Foundation and other numerous banks who have supported us through this process of developing this fund. Sustainability and the opportunity to develop a strong workforce is also on the agenda. So we have partnered with the Generator to start a new workforce development tool that would help expand opportunities throughout the state in the tech field and in other areas where there are gaps. Through our partnerships as the ones that you've heard today, we would like to not only support the Latino Chamber's growth to impact change, but we would also like to create more of a succinct and aligned community. Something that we have noticed that there is a lot of gaps in services to Latinos. And as a Latino Chamber, we would love to be that unifier or bridge between industry and our business owners and workforce. So we will continue to spearhead efforts to maintain a viable economy by improving the business climate, expanding business space and assisting local businesses, also by activities that support the efforts of developing a comprehensive cradle to career development and sustainability of a workforce. Our membership is going to be front and center. Our members really do deserve an award and accolades because they have stood with us through thick and thin. And this year alone, our membership has grown by 44, and we are currently at about 388 members. And this is with the purging factor that we had to purge several members that were inactive. And we are currently updating our records to include new members. This growth has happened in the past 3 years. In 2018, we went from 108 members to 230. The second year, we went to 287. And as I told you now, we are at 380. Our financials are also growing, although with COVID, we did see a dip in our financials because of the unfortunate turn of events. We weren't able to host a lot of our premier events like the gala, and that really impacted our financials by 100,000. But we are so proud of our partnerships through our grantors like WEDC, like the city of Madison, the city of Fitchburg, and Dane County that came and helped our businesses and helped the chamber become a sustainable model with their ongoing support financially, morally, and in our infrastructure. Um, the annual report will be available to you next week, and I will be sending that to all our members. So I want you to make sure that if you have any questions, you can continue to reach out to the chamber, and we will help you understand those financials. And also, this is the time for me to make this public call that we are always looking for volunteers to make this a better organization. We invite investors, we invite volunteers that are trained in a specific field to come and teach our classes. This chamber has only become what it is now because of our membership and because stakeholders who continue to invest in us. We are so proud of these stakeholders and members. And I want to again thank WEDC for the continued support of the chamber, both morally and both in our infrastructure and our growth, and through the revolving loan fund that we hope to announce in 2021. At this point, I would like to introduce to you to my second in command, our Vice President of Operations and the new COO of the Latino Chamber of Commerce of Wisconsin, Jorge Antesana. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jorge Antesana. I am the Vice President of Operations of the Latino Chamber of Commerce. As a chamber, we provide services for the Latino community across the country. We're in the south central of Wisconsin, and we are planning, as Jessica said, to expand the service and programs across the state. The Latino Chamber of Commerce service model before COVID-19 was a face-to-face for the classes, workshops, events, and technical support. But after the state declared a public health emergency on March, immediately the chamber model services moved to virtual in all the services and programs. The Latino Chamber of Commerce has offered an amazing program for entrepreneurs and business owners since 2017. We are currently teaching our fourth generation. So far, we graduate over 100 in the last 3 years. Our program name is Tu Empresa, powered by Madison College. It's a 3.5 month program where we cover topics related with business development management, especially. Additional, we invite to external speakers like lawyers, accountants, government officials, etc., to talk about their fields and experience. Starting 2020, we decided to run the program three times per year. And so far, this year, 55 students completed the program. For the last session on the year, we currently have 64 students registered, and we are planning the graduation on December 17. Actually, we have a great education consultant partnerships with institutions like Madison College, SCORE, DayNet, Latino Academy, Wisconsin Procurement Institute, to name a few. And we continue working with other agencies to provide the best quality services for the Latino business community. I want to introduce my workmate, Xochitl Garcia.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this event. We have worked long hours to make it happen for you, to make you feel welcome, to make you feel proud, and to make you feel important. My name is Xochitl Garcia, and I'm the Outreach Director. I oversee the membership services, community projects, and I help with the Entrepreneurship Institute. In the past year, our membership increased 25%. We have worked and working together with wonderful partners like the City of Madison, where we help the Census 2020. Tu Empresa, working together with Madison College. I want to thank WEDC for creating a great opportunity for minority businesses. The Chamber have created her own project
just to help our business owners by creating Negocios Seguros. April 2020 changed our community's life, and we decided to create a project just to educate, help our businesses, and allow them to continue their operations. I want to thank the Latino Health Council, Latino Children's and Family Council, and Radio La Sabrosa because they decide to be part of this project. We'll continue to work hard for you, trying to get resources and finding better opportunities for you, your business, and your family. I want to thank our wonderful members. I want to thank our volunteers. They put 776 hours of volunteer services. I want to thank Ninfa, Miletza, Lorena Cortez, Carmen, Deyanira, Emily Luna, for all the hard work during the COVID relief funding operation. I want to acknowledge and thank Temo Chopin, founder and creator of Negro República, for his commitment through the years. He not only helped us, guiding us, providing branding, helping us with events, but he also helped us to take this beautiful program to your house. I want to thank Lighthouse because they provide half of our volunteers through the COVID season. I want you to know that we are here for you. Our doors are always open, and we want to have you in our side. God bless you and have a wonderful year.
Hi, my name is Lorena Cortez, and I am the support services for the Chamber. I'm the newest team member, and I am honored and very excited to be part of such a wonderful organization who works tireless for our business community. I want you to feel very welcomed as a part of the Chamber family and join us in making a change in our community. Thank you.
Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to Jessica and team. As always, we're grateful for the steadfast leadership that you provided during these trying times. Next on our agenda, I would like to transition to the speaker who will be speaking of being a Latino leader and the expectation of impact. It's a pleasure to introduce this gentleman. He has received 2 national honors, one with the election to the Board of Directors of the National Council of State Housing Agencies, and an appointment to the Community Investment Advisory Council of the Federal Home Loan Program. He currently serves as CEO of the Wisconsin Housing and Economic Development Authority, WHEDA. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Joaquin Altoro.
Hello, everyone. I'm wearing this mask, and I want to start out first of all with modeling the right behavior. It's very important that we're wearing our masks. I'm hoping you've seen it, you've heard it, that Latinos are hurting. COVID is affecting us at the highest rates, and it's very important that we use our masks. I will not use it during my speech today, but I want to model the behavior. I'm at home alone in my daughter's bedroom, but I want to make sure that this is something that's important that we support. We are not ignorant, and don't let us show that ignorance by showing the deaths or the potential of us catching this COVID. So let's make sure we pass that around. And so thank you. Let's get at this. So I very much appreciate the opportunity to be here. Very, very excited. When I was asked by the Latino Chamber, I was going to be at the end of the program to do kind of a call to action. At the same time, I was going to talk a little bit about the demographics of Latinos and Latino businesses in the state of Wisconsin. And then I think there was a little bit of a changeover, and I was asked to see if I could keynote. And I said, sure. It was a little bit later than I expected. And so I asked respectfully that this is going to be a little bit about an introspective and me talking a little bit of my story. And I hope that my story is your story. And I also hope that we get some nuggets out of this as I kind of talk a little bit about my history, because as 30 years as a banker, it's been very interesting, kind of my experience in the state of Wisconsin. And I'm very passionate about mi gente, about my people. And I really look forward to being able to do this. But I do want to mention that you remember that I just said that I was going to really talk about the demographics, right? All the numbers. But I think it's time we get past these numbers. We've seen it for years now, if not decades, at the fact that Latinos, we've been growing. We are now growing in the 10s, the 20s, the 30s. I mean, we already see that the fact that the percentage numbers that we see that Latinos are growing in the state of Wisconsin and in our particular communities is crazy. We are here. I don't want to have to come out with numbers to tell you that we already exist. How do we know that? Because we look left, we look right. We see the grocery stores. We see everything that's happening, the vibrance that Latinos bring to the state of Wisconsin. And so I thought, as a part of my story, maybe what I do is we begin to stop looking at us collectively and we start to look at ourselves introspectively or inward. We start to really look at ourselves and understand what is it we need to do for ourselves so that we can increase our wealth, that we can sustain our wealth. And wealth is not just making money. It's making sure that we make generational money, wealth, stuff that stays around, not just for you next week, not just for you in 5 years, but stuff for our children's children. And that's a place and space that we need to really understand. It starts with us. And so when I speak to you respectfully, I'm almost speaking to myself. So I think that this opportunity right now is almost therapeutic. So I appreciate you kind of going on this quick journey with me. And I'll do this because I know those that know me that I could go ranting for a while. So I'm gonna actually start my time clock right now. My story always starts with my grandfather. My grandfather came to Wisconsin around 1918. It's crazy if you think about it. He came directly to Milwaukee to work in the leather tanneries. Closely thereafter, he ended up having 17 kids. I have a humongous family that has now grown exponentially throughout the state of Wisconsin. What was interesting is, as my grandfather set up shop in Milwaukee and the family continued to grow, what happened in Milwaukee is that jobs and manufacturing left the city. But because of laws, policy, and all of the kind of systemic racist reasons, it didn't allow the Latinos and African-American brothers and sisters to follow the jobs. And so we stayed in a city that was without jobs. And so as my family continued to grow and through the 70s and 80s, what we saw is an extreme case and a growth of poverty within our communities. We also started seeing through the 80s and 90s how Latinos started coming directly from all of the countries and from other states into the state of Wisconsin. And we began to see kind of this growth. As for me, my mother, one of the 17 kids, was the only child that ended up going to college and becoming an elementary school teacher. I love you, Mom. Through that, she stayed on me. She stayed on me very hard to make sure that I was concentrated and that I was responsible in making sure that I cared about my own education. As I grew up, went through the school system here in Milwaukee, eventually going to Marquette University, the summer between that, I ended up getting a job working for a mortgage company and telemarketing for the mortgage company. It was interesting because it gave me kind of that first understanding a little bit about how this works, how mortgages work, how business works, how lending works. And I very much appreciate the gentleman that taught me about this business. Eventually, I decided very soon thereafter, as a matter of fact, to start my own kind of loan broker / mortgage broker firm. I think I was almost like 19, 20 years old when I started this. And something at a very young age told me, you know what? When I walk into the banks in the city of Milwaukee, what I noticed is that the decision makers, they didn't look like me. The vice president didn't look like me. The president, all those that had the ability to impact resources that went to our community didn't look like me. And barely even the tellers looked like me. So something clicked in my head at a very young age that said, you know what? I want to be the banker of the emerging communities, what I called them at that time, the emerging communities. Obviously, first and foremost, I wanted to kind of be the banker of the Latino community. But I realized that the Latinos weren't the only communities that were kind of emerging in the state of Wisconsin. When I looked around in the city of Milwaukee, I realized that there was obviously already well entrenched but burgeoning African American community, the Southeast Asian Hmong community, LGBT community, even youth. It seemed like there were all these communities that banks were not connecting with. And I said, you know what? At this young age, I don't know what it was, but I said, I will be their banker. And before I even began to start and think about, I have a product for you, I said, you know what? I need to get deeply engaged and connected. I need to know these communities at a nuanced level so that when I work with them, that they would respect me, that if I offer something, that they'd understand that it comes from a deep desire to see them grow and see the communities become everything that they should be. And so I spent years in really trying to understand all of these communities at a nuanced level. Everything from participating and teaching classes on weeknights to getting involved with chambers of commerce, name it, I was there. But I got to a point that I could speak about my communities, all of these communities at a very nuanced level. And I guess I ask you all, think about that as a business owner or whatever your point is and where you want to be, is that if you are looking to step out and grow your own personal value, is how well do you know those that you are serving, those that you are doing business with? And then even more importantly, remember, I didn't pigeonhole myself to only work in the Latino community. I wanted to make sure at the fact that I knew more than just my Latino community, and that's okay. It's okay to be a Latino banker and be a banker for all, or for more than just our community, because I think what it does is it continues to build this right here. It continues to build this right here, continues to build this right here. And I think those things are very important in making sure that we understand. Remember, I started this. We have to think introspectively. We have to create a personal value in ourselves. We have to make sure that we are increasing our knowledge base so that when we continue to serve, when we continue to do business, that we are there forward. However, I wasn't as successful as one would think, because as I started my own business in providing loans, I was more hungry about making the money. So I was out there getting the deals, and I was bringing lots of deals in, but no one took a time to talk to me and say, Joaquin, what about the business? Like, you spend all your time on bringing in the business in, but how much time are you spending on the business? It was sad. As a 19, 20, 21, 22, 23-year-old, I made more money than I spent. So I didn't even spend time trying to understand, how do I do my taxes? How do I insure myself? How do I set up a pro forma and a business model that is successful and is sustainable for a long time? And so when the recession hit, that's all it was. When the recession hit, was I ready? No, I was not. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Did I have money saved? No, I'm not. I wasn't. And that's a reality of our people. That's a reality of our Latino, mi gente, is that what we need to do is really understand, as we think introspectively, as we think about either our business or our ability to increase our own personal value, what are we doing about our personal credit? What are we doing about our understanding of taxes, our understanding of business models? At that point, almost 30 some years ago, 25 years ago, there weren't really that many chambers. You know what? There was a chamber. I didn't know about them. I didn't even want to know about them because I thought I knew it all. I said, I'm making money, so it wasn't important for me to understand kind of the complexity and the sophistication of being a business that should sustain. Very, very important. So what happens? Recession comes, hits me like a ton of bricks. I close the business down, owe a lot of money. And what did I have to do? I had to go work for the man, as I call it, the man. I had to go work in private sector. And excuse me, I had to reinvent myself. And so as I reinvented myself, it was interesting because I knew what my value was in my mid-20s. And so when I went to go work for the bank, I told the bank, I said, hey, bank, I just know at the fact that when you all are out here trying to reach out to communities, there's an additional value in making sure that we promote, we support all of these other communities that I already have a deep relationship with. And so thank goodness that I proposed, that I was able to put myself in that position and put that value in front of them, that they had talked about paying me at a certain amount, but I was able to get a premium because of the fact that they knew that I had these relationships, and I knew that I could bring that business in. I set that up, but then now I had to perform. And so working for the banks, I realized that I had these relationships with the communities, but the banks didn't have the resources at that time. They didn't really know the communities. I'll give you a very specific example. I had myself a client that came in from Chicago. It was a woman-owned business that was doing very well, a dulceria. And como Latinos, we have dulces for everything. We got little things for quinceañeras, name it, right? It doesn't matter. Bautismo, it doesn't matter. We want to make sure we do that for every one of our events. And she had a couple spots in Chicago, and she wanted to open up on Mitchell Street in Milwaukee. Thought it was a perfect business model. And at that time, obviously, I was a loan broker, so I would take one's opportunity and go sell it to other banks. And I went to multiple banks in the city of Milwaukee, and they're like, a candy shop? What's that about? I got turned down left, right, inside, outside. I was like, you want to talk about a disconnect from those that make the decisions to those that we should be supporting. Right then and there, I said, you know what? Not only do I want to know my peoples, which I already did, but now I'm going to work at getting this much closer to being the decision maker. I'm going to work at getting the power and the influence to make sure that I am one of the decision makers and one of the creators of resources for my people. And those that know me, that I've been just laser focused on that, on kind of that drive. That started from me moving from now to another bank, which I will mention was my past job with Town Bank. And it was interesting because Town Bank was a bank that was a Lake Country bank, 5 branches, and mostly in Lake Country in the suburbs of outside of Milwaukee. And when I met with the CEO, I told him the same thing. I said, I see you're a community bank. If you are interested in growing into Milwaukee, I most definitely am your person. I am deeply connected in these communities, and I can show you that, there might be a perception that my people were poor and there's not opportunity and it's destitute for us to be able to do business there. But I can show you through strategy and the way that if we support them and we create the right products for them, that not only can you make money and make a return on your investment, but we can actually have a positive impact in communities. CEO gave me that opportunity. He trusted me. And when he trusted me, I took that trust like a bar of gold. And I built collectively with my CEO and my partners a bank that almost 5 years later, we were 25 branches, and we went from $500 million in assets to nearly $2 billion in assets. And we ended up getting one of the rare acknowledgments by the federal government, a CRA satisfactory examination, that directly states that we were very successful in our engagement in low and moderate income communities. And I don't have to tell you who lives in those low and moderate income communities. So as of all those years I'm spending, really the push was not on my people. The push was really on the banks. And I realized still that in banks, it's really hard because banks, their responsibilities to their shareholders. So them to be really aggressive in understanding our communities, it was difficult to make sure, not only with Town Bank, every bank, it's really difficult for them to understand how do we have success in low and moderate income communities. And so I started to spend time with some of our loan funds, with some of our CDFIs, community development financial institutions, which are kind of nonprofit banks, with our government organizations, which I'm very excited, by the way. My sister colleague, Missy Hughes, she's about to be up. I love her. And I hope that you guys give her the same warm reception that you do me. I spent time with WEDC and really just getting involved. And I said, remember I told you power and influence to have change. So what I ended up doing is getting involved on the boards, on the loan committees, I was on the city plan commission for the city of Milwaukee. I mean, name it. I was almost on every board, every loan committee, and really pushing hard to create change in the way that we look at our businesses and that we create programs. And it really was about an internal introspection of the organizations and making sure that we build our own capacity. Deep in this work, loving it, successes related to people, my circle and my ecosystem and expanding from the south side of Milwaukee to southeastern Wisconsin, statewide now. Like it was growing really good. One day I get a call by a gentleman that I completely appreciate for this opportunity today, which was Governor Tony Evers. And it was funny because I got a call from them and saying, are you interested and would you consider the position of the CEO for WHEDA, the Wisconsin Housing Economic Development Authority? And I remember thinking in my mind saying, I don't want to work for the government. I don't know if that's me. But then I understand that I remember WHEDA is a pretty powerful player in this game. WHEDA really moves some needles. Excuse me. WHEDA is $3 billion in assets. Last year alone, WHEDA did almost $500 million in first-time home buyer loans to almost 4,000 single-family homeowners. We administer tens of millions of dollars in tax credits that build thousands of units of affordable housing throughout the state. At the same time, we do tens of millions of dollars in guarantees and participatory loans for economic development and small business. Like Southside Puerto Rican Mexican cat that comes from 1918, mi abuelo. Like, I get to be the CEO and really do what I said 20 some years ago. Like, I got to pinch myself because I can't believe that this opportunity has been presented in front of me. And so, today, I should say that it was a great conversation with Governor Evers. I remember driving from Milwaukee to go meet with Governor Evers. And I remember saying, you know what? I'm gonna be myself. When I talk to the governor, I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna just lay it out like that is. And if he doesn't want to hire me, then whatever. And it was so funny because I was myself. And we are blessed to have a governor that he has created a cabinet around him that are a bunch of characters that are authentically passionate about moving the needle in the state. And I, being a part of that group, am very excited. And I being able to have this ability to lead. But think about it now, like I haven't been no CEO. And as a matter of fact, if the job requirement said you have to be a CEO, guess what? I think very few of us of color would probably qualify for this position. And so even when I did accept the job from our governor, and so goes the title of our conversation today, the expectation of impact, I was nervous, I'll be honest with you. But you know what? I had to rise above my fear and my uncomfort and realize that, man, you've been doing this since forever. You've been out here. You are an expert. You are a leader. You know your people. Why are you even questioning yourself, my man? And if there's something you don't know, and by the way, there's a lot I don't know, then trust in your people. WHEDA is 165 employees. And it was interesting because the first day I walked in there, as I talked to you, very honestly, very vulnerable, as I talked to them and told them my story and said, I need you. Please work with me so that I can continue to have this impact at WHEDA. And so I'll be honest with you, is that, and this is that introspective part too. It is okay to take time and be selfish and concentrate on yourself. There are many a times when young Latinos come to me and say, Joaquin, I want to open up a nonprofit to have an impact in my community. Or I have somebody say, I want to open this business to help with a particular social ill that we have. And I said, great, wonderful. But the question is, are you ready? Are you prepared? Do you have the education? Do you have the credit? Whatever you need to do, are you there? It's like we busy saving the world, but we ain't even saving ourselves. What's that about? The best gift I can give to the state of Wisconsin the best gift I can give to the state of Wisconsin is making sure that Joaquin is on point, as educated, is prepared, and is ready to perform for mi gente, my people. And my people is much bigger scope. My people are the underrepresented and the under-resourced. That is the largest gift that I feel like I most definitely can give back to Wisconsin. And so an investment in me has really been working hard at understanding what's going on at WHEDA. WHEDA works in so many places that are so complex. Tax exempt bonding, like I had no idea what the heck that was when I came in. That was a year ago. I told my CFO every Monday, we're going to sit down. We're going to talk about tax exempt bonding. I can go to a conference now. I can talk about tax exempt bonding, ain't expert, but I can tell you a little bit about that. But even more importantly, I can tell you how it could be used to have a benefit in our communities. Bam. That's important. The other thing I've done is make sure that I've been able to really increase my network outside of Wisconsin. That is really important because there's a lot of resources and opportunities. As a matter of fact, late breaking news, I'd like to tell you all, just got the word last night. The press release was put out. It was kind of crazy. I was nominated by the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago CEO. The only way you can get this position is being nominated by one of the, I think, 7 or 8 Federal Reserve Bank CEOs. And I was vetted by the FBI. It took forever to get it, but I was just nominated and approved to be on the board, the Consumer Advisory Board for the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is one of the most powerful boards in the nation that has oversight of all things financial in the nation. Like, again, this is Kat from the south side of Milwaukee, Puerto Rican Mexican, like just privileged, absolutely privileged. And so head into my finish up here is like, what is in the future for me? Like which direction I'm headed? Well, I got plans. I'm gonna let you know. This position that I'm in, the truth is that it's a government appointed position, a governor, appointed position. And for as long as the governor wants me in this position, I will appoint, and I serve at the pleasure of our governor and very much appreciative thereof. But I plan to be fearless, and I plan to be fearless about asking for help. Mi gente, my people, we need to be fearless about asking for help. Let's ask for help. That's why the Latino Chamber is here. That's why the beautiful board members that represent the chamber are there. Like, let's use each other. Let's help each other to really move the needle around wealth creation and all things that are the social ills of being Latino in the nation. I ask respectfully, please invest in me, and I promise that I will pay dividends. I thank you very much, and I will tell you, we have emerged, but now we need to emerge even stronger. Gracias, un placer.
Thank you, Joaquin, for those inspiring words, sharing your experiences in business and your profound lessons in leadership. It is now a privilege to introduce a woman who served as the Chief Mission Officer for Organic Valley Cooperative since 2003. She has served as a member of the Organic Trade Association since 2013, both as Vice President and President. She also served on the USDA's Advisory Committee for Biotechnology in 21st Century Agriculture. And on October 1st of 2019, she was appointed to Governor Evers' cabinet. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Secretary Missy Hughes, CEO of the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation.
Ramon, thank you so much for the introduction. And I can't believe I have to follow Joaquin. And what you'll see, I think, is probably that Joaquin and I often compete for who has the most energy and tries to keep the group engaged. But I'm just going to say Joaquin won today, all hands. There's no doubt about it. Two things I want to talk about before I jump into my remarks. The first is I am stunned that Joaquin's, I think it was his mom, is because he said, "I love you, Mom," is one of 17. Like, let's just stop and think about that for a second, because it doesn't happen that often anymore in our universe. The other thing I want to say is Joaquin reminded me that just about a year ago at this time, I was also interviewing with the governor and talking with the governor. And the same as Joaquin, I was not a CEO before coming to my role at WEDC. And so to stop and think about how the governor was willing to look for different experiences and look for people who were doing different things. You know, Joaquin in his work and his upbringing, as he mentioned, for me, you know, I live out in rural Wisconsin. I am the antithesis for the most part of what WEDC has been working on. And so it's really exciting to be able to have this opportunity. But I just want to, you know, give a shout out to Governor Evers for giving Joaquin and I the chance to serve and to serve for Wisconsin in this role. So that's just touching on some of what Joaquin had to say. But I want to thank the Latino Chamber of Commerce for having me and for giving me the opportunity to talk with you. You know, I'm super proud of WEDC's partnership and support of the Chamber and the Chamber's mission to help Latino businesses in Wisconsin achieve their full potential. I had the chance, gosh, it seems like 1,000 years ago, but it was sometime in the last year, but before COVID, to sit down and meet Jessica and talk with her. And I have to say, out of many people that I've worried about in the past few months, Jessica has been one of those people, just because I know that she is working day and night to help support the businesses that are members of the Chamber. And there's been times where my heart goes out to how much I know she's working and how much all of you are working to keep your members going, or if, you know, as businesses, to keep your businesses going. So I just want to take a moment to really recognize what the last few months have been like, especially in this community and for Hispanic businesses. We know that COVID-19 has disproportionately affected the Hispanic community and its businesses. At the end of June, the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation published a report called Wisconsin Tomorrow. And this was a report that was requested by the legislature to understand the impacts of COVID-19 on the Wisconsin economy. And we took that opportunity to really talk expansively about the impact, because we wanted to make sure that the legislature and the governor understood and knew where this was impacting and how it was impacting. And one of the things that we highlighted were that minority households were experiencing unemployment rates 1.5 to 1.8 times that of white households. We continue to see minority-owned businesses closing at faster rates and are disproportionately concerned about surviving. So we've got businesses that have made it 6 months in, right? We're in September from March, and that survival was incredibly hard. And now looking at the next 6 months and thinking about, okay, how am I going to get through the winter? And minority-owned businesses in particular are concerned about that. And one of the reasons is that minority-owned businesses were not able to access, as much as white businesses, the financial support that came from the federal government, you know, for a variety of reasons, whether it's that the businesses weren't owned by U.S. citizens, or the businesses didn't have the proper documentation or the relationships with banks that the federal government was looking for. So where some businesses were able to access those funds and were able to put some cash in the bank and be ready to withstand the months ahead, we're seeing that minority-owned businesses haven't been able to do that. And, you know, despite the fact that in recent years, Latino-owned businesses have more than doubled in Wisconsin, that Latino entrepreneurs are leading the charge with starting up companies at 6 times the national average. And, despite these successes, despite the fact that Latino-owned businesses in Wisconsin are the largest owners of businesses in the service industry, and despite all the barriers that we have in the state, those successes have come through. But now COVID-19 has really been a hard crisis for these businesses. In those sectors where we often see Latino-owned businesses, those are the sectors, the personal care sectors, the restaurants, the food-based businesses. That's where we really are seeing the hit of COVID-19. And I believe Jessica has shared earlier that, the chamber is seeing businesses close on a weekly basis, 1 to 2 businesses on a weekly basis. And, so we have to continue to be laser focused, which is what what we've tried to do in the last few months, on the small businesses, on the minority-owned businesses, and the unbanked and the underbanked. These are not traditional businesses for WEDC to be working with. And so we've really tried to find that muscle of working with the small businesses. In a typical year, WEDC does about 350 awards per year. And, the working with the chamber is one of those awards. But since COVID-19, we have we've made over 30,000 grants. So going from 350 to 30,000 shows you how we've really tried to pivot it to be working with small businesses, and the programs that we've done have been focused on those small businesses, whether it's the Ethnic Minority Emergency Grant Program, our SB 2020 program, or the We're All In grant program. And, we've really tried to focus on doing our best to get resources out. The resources are never enough, and we acknowledge that, but I appreciate so much the thanks that we've gotten from the businesses, and where that little bit has helped to at least relieve some stress. I just got a letter today from a bookstore owner who had just appreciated the ability of having a small check and being able to know that they could make rent or pay their employees. One of the things that we've also been focused on at WEDC is the kind of collision of public health and the economy and the economic health. And what I've known and seen and tried to advocate for is the reality that unless we get the spread of the virus under control, unless we take up those things like social distancing and hand washing and wearing masks, we will not regain the economic health that we need. And I want to thank Jessica and her team for launching the Seguro Negocios campaign, which is at the heart of this idea that we need to have safe business places. We need to be thinking about our employees and our customers and our communities, and we need to be thinking about that safety in order to be working together, in order to get our economy working again, and in order to move past this crisis and reemerge, as your theme for today mentions. So I want to say that we've been partnering with the Chamber since 2016 to do things like provide technical assistance to Latino businesses. And that technical assistance is really critical to be able to help have the right paperwork to go to the bank, or to make sure that your licenses are in place. And I thank the Chamber for providing that technical assistance, and as Joaquin said, for the businesses for asking for that help. Because by making sure that our chambers are strong and our businesses are strong, we can continue to advance and maximize opportunities for Latino businesses in Wisconsin. And I'm glad to announce today that in an effort to help continue advancing those efforts, WEDC is going to be providing seed funding for the Chamber's new initiative to establish a revolving loan fund. And this is really critical because we put capital into the system, and that way we can continue to make sure that we have the ability of the businesses to access that capital and have the support they need so that the businesses can grow, we can create jobs, we can empower the community and build a legacy for families to continue to be strong generation after generation. I want to close on work in particular that I've been doing, and it was I wrote down words that Joaquin was using about the ecosystem expanding. And as Joaquin mentioned, you know, he's been continuing to meet new people and talk with new people, and that's something that I have in mind for WEDC. We need to continue to expand the ecosystem that WEDC is working within, whether it's within our chambers and meeting new businesses or getting out and talking to different groups in the communities. But it's something that I have taken up and that I'm working on. And I want to invite you, to all of you virtual listeners, to reach out to me, reach out to my team, Vanessa and Sayum at WEDC, to say, hey, we want to talk about the obstacles that we're facing. We want to talk about the challenges that we're facing, because without learning about those, without me knowing what it's like to be underbanked or unbanked, or to not have the support system in place that you need to grow, I can't help create that system. And so it's really, really critical that we continue these conversations, that we continue to, I continue to learn about those obstacles, because the reality is we have real challenges that are facing the ability to overcome some of these obstacles. There is systematic racism that has been put in place, and I'm just going to say it out loud because I really believe that by saying it out loud, we can talk about it. But really learning about it and really understanding, how do we make the change to those systems, and how have we contributed to those systems so that we can undo it and we can unravel that and we can move forward together. So that invitation is there. Please reach out to me and help me learn more so that I can use the position that the governor has given me for the time that I have, and work with Joaquin to make things better for our state, and especially for our families and our communities in our state. So thank you so much for having me today. Thank you for your work, and congratulations on your annual membership meeting.
Thank you, Secretary Hughes, for that informative and inspiring address. I would also like to take the opportunity to thank you for your valuable contributions to helping us launch the Prospera Revolving Loan Fund. This would not have been possible without your support, and because of your support, we were able to get matching funds through CUNA Credit Union, and as such, we will be able to engage in our initiative of lending out working capital to small businesses and entrepreneurs. Our next speaker is a visionary leader who has a reputation for pushing the boundaries of organizations beyond complacency. He is creative and innovative, and he inspires all those around him to rise up to a level of professionalism. He has a reputation of being dynamic. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Associate Vice President of Strategic Partnerships at Madison Area Technical College, Bryan Woodhouse.
All right. Well, good afternoon. Thank you so much, Ramon, for the great introduction. I'm very honored to be part of the 2020 Latino Chamber of Commerce membership meeting. I really want to thank CEO Cavazos, Vice President Antizana, Sochi, welcome Lorena, and Dr. Ortiz, and the whole Latino Chamber Board for really their truly visionary leadership of the Chamber. Everyone that I've ever worked with at the Chamber has been such a pleasure. And again, it's great to be here today. Also, I'll just quickly say thank you to both Director Altoro and Secretary Hughes for their great messages and for the amazing work they're doing at their organizations at WHEDA and WEDC. It's truly inspiring, and also a really tough act to follow. So Jessica, next time I want to go first for you to come back for this. I think the theme, Reemerging Stronger, is a perfect one for this time and for this place that we're in. So what I'd like to do, and do as briefly as I can, is tell you a little bit about what's happening at Madison College, and like all of you, how we've adapted our business to current circumstances, how we are and plan to continue services to the communities we serve. And as part of that, of course, our excitement for our partnership with the Latino Chamber, and about the work we have been and will continue to do together. So to give you a brief overview, our college in a typical fall semester runs about 3,000 different courses across our 9 campuses. So as this fall, as you might expect, our enrollment is down a little bit. The last report I saw was just a little under 10% from where we were last year. But as a college, we made the decision very early, late spring or early summer, that in order to protect our students, our staff, our faculty, and our greater community, that we would shift all of our work that could be done online to online. And then any in-person, face-to-face classes would be reserved for only those things that we could really not find a way to do online. And some examples of that would be welding, nursing, construction, and similar courses. So that's a big change for us. I've been to campus a few times since March, and our hallways have never felt so empty, unfortunately, but we know that we will get through this and we will get back to life as we knew it. So even though we've moved to a largely virtual environment, our commitment and resolve to serve our community really has never been stronger. In fact, personally, I'm pretty amazed at how many of our instructional teams and our staff have adapted to this challenging environment, finding new and innovative ways to deliver classes and to do things online that, frankly, we didn't think we could do that way before. Some of the things that we're doing to continue services that may be of interest to this membership, we made a commitment that all students that need a laptop and a way to access the internet would be issued one. So our tech services team was very busy through the late spring and early summer, purchasing large quantities of laptops and Wi-Fi hotspots for all of our students. We've established new emergency funds for degree-seeking students enrolled at the college that need help to make ends meet. We developed new ways to teach, including what we call online live. So while you may be at a computer at home, you're still taking courses real time with a live instructor. And last year, with the help of 10 different community partners, we developed the Madison College Legal Clinic, which provides services to students, but also to the general community who are experiencing legal issues in areas such as family, work, housing, immigration, and many other areas. And so while we can't do appointments in person right now, those services are continuing this year by phone and through virtual meetings. We also engaged the Dane County Immigration Affairs Office to assist students who may need help with filing fees or costs. We're continuing to partner with community organizations on education and training in key industries like health, manufacturing, finance. And one great example that I always love to tout is our work with Centro Hispano on the Camino's nursing assistant program. And of course, we continue to provide all of our important services, such as English as a second language, GED attainment, and so many others. And I was asked to put in a little plug for this. If you haven't turned in before, check out our monthly college radio show where we discuss a lot of these things in a little more detail. Ponte las pilas, and it's on La Movida. So that's always a fun thing to tune into. So that's a little bit of an overview of how the college has pivoted to either maintain or expand services in a world dominated by COVID-19 right now. But we're also doing some new things over the past year that I'd like to share with all of you. Over the past few months, our college has really intensified our longstanding commitment to supporting diversity, equity, and inclusion in our college and in our community. We're in the process of updating our equity and inclusion plan, which includes reviewing all policies, establishing new goals for each and every department of the college, as we really double down on fostering a culture of not just tolerance, but anti-racism across our organization. And I can say that all of our folks at the college are fully invested in the work and really look forward to putting our new plan into action in the months ahead. And then the last thing I really wanted to talk about today is specifically with our work with the Chamber in supporting businesses and in supporting entrepreneurship. So, of course, I'm really proud and humbled by all the work our college is doing in so many areas. But I do have to say that this work with the Chamber and around entrepreneurship is personally closest to my heart. And when we talk about the theme of emerging stronger together, I don't think there's any question that supporting small business owners And building up new entrepreneurs will be the key to how we do that. Small businesses are the backbone of our community, and they always have been. So when I think about our partnership between Madison College and the Latino Chamber of Commerce, it's in many ways what I'd call a perfect match. We're two organizations that are deeply committed to doing, quite frankly, whatever it takes to find the resources and provide the support to help people succeed. And we're two organizations very committed to building pipelines. That's pipelines into a new business, into a larger and stronger business, pipelines to more skills and education, to a new career, a pipeline to whatever it is that people who come to us need. So I'm really proud of what we've been able to do over the past year, plus. That includes establishing agreement for individuals who complete the outstanding 2 Impressa training to receive degree credit for the Intro to Entrepreneurship course in our small business program. And establishing a robust agreement for mutual services, which includes access to Madison College entrepreneurs and residents for one-on-one consultations, support for curriculum or other custom education content that we might be able to provide, including use of Madison College instructors, an opportunity to pursue grants that could potentially benefit both of our organizations, use of our facilities for chamber functions or classes once we do get back to doing that again, and many, many more things. So frankly, I think that's the tip of the iceberg in terms of what all of us at Madison College believe we can do together. And we look forward to the work ahead of us. So to close out my remarks, it's been a pleasure to have the opportunity to speak with all of you. Stay strong, stay united. Know that the Chamber, of course, and that Madison College, too, is here to serve you as individuals, as business people in our community. And we very much look forward to our continued partnership. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Bryan, for those words. As always, we're grateful for the contributions that you've made to this partnership between Madison College and the Latino Chamber. You've really been instrumental in helping us re-envision our strategic direction. At this moment, I would like to introduce a special person who works at the Chamber as a volunteer coordinator. She is an architect, an interior designer, and former student at Madison College. Her name is Maria Alvarez, and she will be making a special pitch to the general membership body and the broader community. Please welcome Maria Alvarez.
Bienvenidos todos. Mi nombre es María Álvarez y soy la coordinadora de voluntarios del Latino Chamber of Commerce. Solo quiero hacer una invitación a voluntariar. Ustedes saben lo importante que es prestar servicio. Es para todos importante. Sabemos que juntos llegamos lejos. Los invito a llamarnos o visitarnos. Llámanos al 608-712-3522. Muchas gracias y buenas tardes.
Thank you, Maria. As our program nears to a close, that brings an end to the structured portion of our program. And I would now like to transition to an open question and answer session, open to the entire membership body. So at this point, we will entertain questions, both myself, our president, and other members of the Latino Chamber, to the general membership body for any questions they may have about the direction of the chamber or our current status or position.
hace es que les da la oportunidad a la membresía de tener oportunidad de votos, de tener información y acceso a eventos como este. Este evento es solamente para nuestros miembros y membresía. Y también ayuda a nosotros poder ofrecer servicios como parte de un cuerpo gobernante, de una organización sin fines de lucros, pero todavía en sentido de que tienen oportunidad de voto y de decidir cómo manejamos la organización. Entonces, nuestros miembros están muy envueltos en cómo la organización se maneja. Tenemos un estándar que se llaman bylaws, que son un manual de operación del Estado que nos ayuda a nosotros también poder saber cómo manejar día a día las operaciones de la Cámara. Al igual, tenemos una mesa directiva en este momento de 15 personas y esas 15 personas son personas de diferentes industrias, son desde educadores, empresarios y representantes de organizaciones del gobierno, también corporaciones. Esas personas se reúnen una vez al mes, que sería el último miércoles de cada mes, para hablar y decidir qué tiene que pasar con la dirección de la Cámara. En esa mesa tenemos una organización, o tenemos un cuerpo gobernante ejecutivo que deciden exactamente cómo se administran los fondos, si hay fondos, cómo obtener más fondos. Y con ese grupo de ejecutivos también se decide lo que es la infraestructura para el futuro de la Cámara. Una de las cosas que mencionó nuestra directora de la mesa directiva, Sarita Manengal, es que esa mesa decidió hace, vamos a decir, ya son un mes, que esta organización ya no se va a llamar the Latino Chamber of Dane County. Ellos decidieron que van a llamarse the Wisconsin Latino Chamber of Commerce. Entonces, es una decisión que se hizo entre esas 15 personas para ver qué dirección y cómo vamos a servir la comunidad. Entonces, la ética de la Cámara está manejada como un cuerpo gobernante de personas que son voluntarias, no pagadas, que deciden exactamente la visión, la misión de la organización.
The next question, what is the plan for recovery after COVID for Latino small businesses?
We're currently working, I'm going to say it's been a process of night and day work with the Latino Chamber, the state, WEDC. I want to take this chance also to thank the fact that we have Sayum and Vanessa from WEDC who work tirelessly contacting our small businesses during the grant process. I'll tell you that in March of 2020, we started getting an influx of calls. We didn't realize that by June, we would have over 1,200 calls come into the chamber for bilingual technical assistance and also for assistance that had to do with how to apply for a grant. And I'm going to allow our membership director to actually also answer this because she was at the front lines of helping these small businesses. But the chamber's recovery plan is to work in alignment with our state government, our municipalities, and our small businesses to find solutions and to understand what the needs are in our community. Would you like to add?
I want to thank you for your time and for being here with us. And I want to share with everyone that we have been working since March 13 in creating not only solutions or finding resources for small business owners. With the help of 6 volunteers that they spend close to 800 hours, we have reached out to our members, asking them how they're doing. We create the campaign Negocios Seguros, where we educate our business owners and their employees to provide a safe environment for their customers. Our fear is not gone. And I want to tell you that if my voice break down, it's because I have a lot of sadness in my heart to know that the pandemic is not over, that our business owners are struggling, the minority business owners don't have a lot of resources. Some of them don't even qualify for federal resources, but we are here for you. I want you to be sure that you can pick up the phone and call us. And if we don't have the resources, we'll find solutions for you ourselves. We want to invite you not only to call us, if you need assistance, immediate assistance, come to the office. We'll set up a safe space for you where we can talk and have a plan for your business. I know fall is approaching and winter as well. So keep in mind that we need to be prepared and ready. So I'm not sure if this answered your question, but I want to tell you that the chamber is working long hours just to make it happen for you.
Otra pregunta específicamente para Sochi. ¿Cómo hace uno para envolverse en la Cámara como voluntario?
Well, for those who know me, and I think my voice now is a happiness voice because I start here at the chamber as a volunteer student myself. It's super easy. Para todos los que me escuchan, que saben cómo empecé y mis inicios en la Cámara, yo les voy a comentar que empecé como voluntaria. Y la voz me cambia y creo que el semblante y la sonrisa de mis ojos también, porque es muy fácil ser voluntario. La pregunta es, ¿cómo puedes voluntariar? Lo único que yo le pido a mis voluntarios siempre son dos cosas: que tengan buena actitud y que sean positivos. La Cámara los recibe con manos abiertas y con un corazón lleno de amor por servir a nuestra comunidad. Si usted tiene esas cualidades y usted quiere envolverse en lo que hacemos, si usted quiere ser parte del cambio y ayudar a otras personas que necesitan mucho apoyo, más aún en estos momentos, llámenos. Le vamos a hacer llenar una aplicación pequeña y un formulario para ver cuáles son sus capacidades y sus talentos. Y por supuesto que lo vamos a recibir acá en la Cámara de Comercio.
¿Cuáles son los beneficios con una membresía en la Cámara de Comercio?
I'm sorry, I just don't want to take it. I don't want to take all the questions, but I feel really joyful to answer this question. We have a variety of membership, not only one. So we have a student memberships, we have professional memberships, business owner memberships, community partners, and associate memberships. So each one of them have a different benefit package, which I can send you. We have it in both languages, English and Spanish. If you are a member, but you think that you haven't discovered all the wonders that we have for you in your package, please email me. I will gladly send you all the information for the membership. But some of the benefits are exposure to your business. You have 24/7 advices. We provide and give you a space in our website to promote your business. You can advertise not only your company, you can do job posting, you can do member-to-member deals. We do not provide database from our members because that is confidential unless the member is willing to give you that information themselves. And if you are a community partner, you have way more benefits. You can be a sponsor. You can come and adopt any of our students and guide them through the process. You can come and be part of the institute and teach classes depending on your expertise and much more. I'm not sure if this answered your question, but I can tell you that some of you guys will email me today.
The next question: how can one participate in the incubator program?
Too bad Jorge's not here, right? Jorge would be the perfect one, but well, all you have to do is call our office. Our incubator is very easily to access. You know, right now because of COVID, we are virtual, and starting in March, it was basically overnight with the assistance of Nueva República that we were able to just, you know, flip the switch and turn virtual. And so what I would say is call the Latino Chamber, talk to Jorge Antesana, or talk to any one of us, and we will take down your information and ask you a couple of questions. It's just a very simple assessment. From there, you get a one-on-one overall assessment with questions and just probably gauging where you're at in the process of developing your business. And then we would put you into a list of classes that start. When's the next one start?
We started last week.
We started last week, so the next one will be in January. And once that January class is full, then we put you on a waiting list for the following class. I think this class has about 63 participants. So, we are trying to keep them small, but unfortunately, because of the need in our communities, and it doesn't matter where you come from, because of the support of WEDC and other resources that we've garnered, we are actually able to help anyone throughout the state virtually. So a lot of our business owners are coming as far as from Poinet to Beloit, Waukesha, over to Lafayette counties. And so we're happy to be able to provide access to this virtual model. But for more information, you can also log on to info@lccwi.org and ask for information on the incubator, and we'll be happy to give you all the details on how to enroll.
I don't think we have more questions.
Do we have any more questions? No? I think that's it. I'll take I just want to make some brief announcements. I would like to invite, our membership and anyone who is out there listening to the Lieutenant Governor's Small Business Academy, which I believe they launched the registration site last Thursday, so it's now open. It's a 2020 Lieutenant Governor's Small Business Academy that is a great place for businesses to get information on procurement, how to fast track your business, what different options and opportunities there are with the federal procurement system. Also, multiple topics on how to, best promote your business during COVID and after COVID and during the recovery. So if you want more information, I just would tell you to go to the WEDC website, or you can also contact info@sbeacademy.com, and they will be willing to answer any questions and take your registration. We have a phenomenal committee. I know they're also accepting nominations for awards, and so I would love to have you join us, hear the information, even if it's virtually. There's a lot of these that are going to happen virtually, and there's a plethora of information out there to help small businesses propel themselves to the next level. So I want to thank everyone. If there's no more questions, I want to thank everyone for not just supporting the chamber, but for also believing in us. It's been a very, very trying 5 months at the chamber, or actually now we're going to 6 months, because of the recovery and because of the different, the trifecta of inequalities that I think that we've seen in the past couple months. So during this time, I would like to ask you, if you're not a member, to join. If you are a stakeholder who would like to give to our recovery fund to help our small businesses through our newly organized Wisconsin Latino Economic Development Corporation, which is our funding arm, I would say contact our office. We'd be happy to put you in contact with Jessica Tomei, who's our new fundraising development consultant, and she's willing to put together a nice package so that you can get all the benefits of membership and have access to our member base, and also be impactful in the information that you'd like to share. We have classes that are member taught and member promoted. We've had financial literacy classes that were sponsored with Wisconsin Bank and Trust and Summit Credit Union. We also have American Family Insurance doing, in classes on insurance. It's just a wonderful opportunity for everyone to just have that added support of information. We'll be doing remote chambers throughout the state. So our mobile chamber model will start as soon as this whole pandemic is over. And as of today, I just want to say again, thank you for everyone who supported the chamber throughout the years. We want to thank our past presidents for the infrastructure and the support of developing this wonderful organization. We want to thank our current board of directors for rethinking it and giving it life to be able to propel it to the next level and really, at the end of the day, impact those we serve. We want to ask our community to support our migrants to support our small business owners, to support those who don't have an opportunity to speak up for themselves and be a voice of action for them. And, lastly, I just want to thank my staff. I don't think I did enough, but I want to thank all of you for not just being just a backbone to this community when it comes to developing, thoughtful information and initiatives. But I also want to thank our volunteers for going out there and helping our businesses during this time. I love seeing the young students from the UW School of Medicine drop off next to our businesses. I love to see our membership grow. I was told that it's not at 380 anymore, that we're all at 401 or something like that, which it changes every day. And that motivates me to continue to support this chamber and to take it to the next level. So again, thank you all for being a part of this. Thank you, Joaquin, for the motivational speech. And our secretary, Missy, you are dynamic. Thank you for checking in on me and making sure I wasn't losing it in the middle of all this. And I want to also thank Bryan for always coming into the chamber and making sure that we have the resources possible to take our entrepreneurs to the next level. Until next time, I wish you all a great week, and thank you for supporting the Latino Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you.